We're starting this new pitch to raise money for the JAM mission. So I want to help unpack what the JAM mission is for those who may be interested, may have been following me for years and even be like really close to me and not really get what it is I've been trying to do, and the mission that I believe God placed on my heart 6 years ago that I've been able to carry out in certain ways since then. But I really feel like this year needs to be taken to another level. 6 years ago, 2015, Drew was a baby. And I was working at Calvary Gospel Church in Beamsville, living there with family, and felt like that chapter was coming to a close. Felt quite strongly. And it was sort of all of a sudden, actually. Now thoughts floating in head. My heart was sort of ready for that, but one specific night, I just felt God speak to me in a way that He only has a few times. Very confidently knew, "You're done." So I woke up. That happened, lying in bed. Woke up the next morning, processed it a bit, called a friend, and that day, as I'm processing, okay, I'm done. Then what? This vision came into my head of using the gifts that I'm particularly gifted in, which would be kids and music. Over the years, I've done lots of different ministries. I went to school to do ministry, but even before that, lots of Christian ministry I've been involved in. And over the years, music and kids are always what I'm drawn to, even if that's not my duty. It's just, I'm always walking around with my guitar, or, where I'm on a travel team playing music at a church, and I end up at the kids' table. Like, those are the areas that I feel that I'm particularly gifted in, and I've been encouraged by others that I'm gifted in that. So, you're going to use your gifts to serve God, to build His kingdom. What are you going to do? Music and kids. And a specific part, there's a couple of specific things to that vision that I learned that day that haven't changed from that day. One would be the learning by doing aspect. And that is, I'll get to that in a minute, what that looked like in my life. But I wanted to make music for kids, but I also wanted to make music with kids, and that was part of the teaching, was that they were going to make music with me. So that was part of the vision from literally day one. The other thing that was interesting that happened was I had been in a songwriting lull, as I often was over the years. I didn't always write songs. I usually write songs in bursts, and I hadn't for quite some time. And I would open up the Bible as I was reading it, and start singing what I was reading. The first one I sang was, "Everything I command you, you shall be careful to do. You shall not add to it or take from it." Which was one of the first songs I sang with the kids at Calvary Beamsville after that happened. Because we did actually stick around after I resigned. We did actually stick around that community for a couple more years. Still felt like we could and should live there and be part of the community. Just didn't feel like I should be on staff anymore. So anyway, so I did that. So songs started coming. I started recording them just to try to get them down. I started teaching some kids music lessons. I started singing these new songs with the kids at our church. So that was kind of the roots of what Joyful Awe Music was to become. I didn't have a name for it at the time. It was just, I think the original name of my YouTube channel was just Benny Martin Music or something. Joyful Awe Music came a little later. But so 6 years ago, I had that vision, and it has not stopped since then. I've gone through I've gone through different times. It was an interesting time for such a vision to come because as I mentioned, Drew, my second child, starts saying our because I have a wife. Her name is Jess, and she was involved in all of this. And we're very much ministry partners, as well as partners in life. And so Drew was a baby. He's now 6. Allie was born a couple years later. She's 4 now, going to school. As of the day I'm recording this, going to school for the first time in a couple days. That's cool. So it was an interesting time, and I also, just had some stresses, and like it was an interesting time. So this vision, by a lot of metrics, has gone very slow. Some people have an idea and just pour themselves into it 24/7. In fact, a lot of the, when you read or watch documentaries about people who followed their dreams or whatever, like they just dove headfirst into it, put aside all else, and didn't sleep, didn't eat, made it happen. And I felt like that was not the way to go. Now I will say that I probably haven't lived a day since then that I didn't think quite a bit about Jam, and the vision, and everything else. But I've tried to also, live the other parts of my life that I believe were also given to me from God to live, such as raising my young children. So anyway, so that was the roots of what happened. I feel like that was a good cutoff for episode 1